Good morning. We're headed to a museum I've never been to before, but first I have a little errand to run. My neighbor's going through a little bit of a medical moment right now. She's getting a procedure this morning, and she's been very anxious about it for a while, and so I thought I'd get her some flowers so that she comes home to something a little bit nice before I get out of here. But we gotta get moving, so something orange. I'm thinking like bright orange colors, right? Maybe some pink. I don't know. We'll ask. Oui, normalement. I just hope it's not rude to ask for this vase back, but you know, I do want the vase back. So the real adventure for today is going to a museum I've never gone to before that my patrons voted on. They picked out of 3. If you think you can pick better, you can become a patron and swing the vote. But in the meantime, we're gonna be going to the Cinémathèque. I always think like it's gonna be a discotheque, but for movies. I think that's how the tech works, because bibliothèque, discotheque, Cinémathèque. It's a movie museum, not a library for movies, not a dance hall for movies, but a movie museum. Sometimes French naming conventions still confuse me. Anyways, I'm gonna go with my friend Amber, who is the museum goddess of Paris. Even though she doesn't know a whole lot about this one in particular, she's still gonna add a lot to it because she always adds a lot to all these experiences. And before we get there, since we're going at noon, I'm gonna need a little bit of an early lunch. And because I'm crossing town, and I kinda need the excuse to get across town, figured why not pop over into the 13th and check out whatever's going at Cayo. Seems like a good call to me. So let's drop in at Cayo. I've got a little bit of work to do before we head over, and then we'll see what this Cinémathèque has to offer. And while we're riding, spotted in the wild is a little badass tour. Rory! Good, how you doing? Best tour guide in Paris. Love Rory. That's really fun. Anyways, that was just a random, I did not know we were gonna run into him. Have you gone on a badass tour yet? Bunch of Irish boys running around Paris. Nothing better. We gotta go. Check it out. Well, we just had a terrible meal with even worse service, which is a nice reminder that actually what I do when it comes to helping people find good meals and having a good time in Paris is valuable.
It certainly is.
I mean, the fries came out cold. Anyways, we don't have to complain about it, but my.pocket.com. Let's see this museum. Oh, there she is. Always wanted to walk through Marilyn's face.
So the Cinémathèque has their expos, which is Marilyn Monroe, beautiful at the moment, and then their like permanent collection, which is mainly about cinema and Méliès, particularly, which is downstairs.
Who's Méliès?
Méliès is like one of the very first cineasts. If you've seen that film, Hugo, I think it's called, Hugo Cabret, His most famous scene is the moon. You have like the moon, and then the rocket goes into the eye, and that's Méliès. And he's like this pioneer in like special effects, basically, and cinema, because the French really start cinema, and the Cinémathèque is about that. It's about preserving that and showing how cinema became cinema.
I wanted to see the magic trick. He made the skeleton a person. The air conditioning was very nice, actually.
Very nice.
I feel like for some air conditioning. It was really cold, actually.
It was cold, yeah.
I feel chilled.
Yeah.
And it's not just because we went to the moon.
Yeah.
He's in Méliès. So you know him from the moon. I mean, that's the shot that I know him from too, but I didn't realize. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, probably from that whole thing, and what I find most inspiring, is just the creativity of the mechanics they had to put together, the space they used, his greenhouse that he used to build these massive sets and these monsters and putting it together. And I think there's a collaborative nature to it. There's experimenting with new technology, with new ideas and visuals and magic, right? Bringing magic into it. I don't know, I just found it to be really inspiring. Honestly, the Maryland exposition, which is going to be over very soon, so you probably won't make it in time unless you're here this week, was very nice, and that was also sparked a lot of questions about like the role Hollywood has played in just brainwashing us in so many ways, and the impressive nature of her overcoming so much to create what she did.
There's always new expos. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Marilyn, they had the Wes Anderson, they've had Kubrick, they do loads of great expos.
That'd be really cool. Also, we found out today Kubrick died in '99. I didn't know that.
The thing is, like, French people, like, you know that, they love cinema.
Yeah.
They love to go. Like, I mean, any day of the week, you can go to cinema, it's full, there'll be some art house movie, and then a blockbuster, and then all the, like, independent cinemas in the Fifth. Like, they really do love cinema.
Thanks, Amber.
See you later.
See you soon. That was okay. So I think also when I first walked in there, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Both things. The exposition about Marilyn Monroe. I don't really know that much about her. Right? She's an icon in my brain, but I wouldn't recognize her. Like from half the photos that we saw. And her story was very interesting. And by the end, I really did enjoy it. And same with the permanent display. It's nice. It's kind of fun to see the optical illusions. And initially, I was like, oh yeah, these are toys, and it's kind of fun. And I don't know. It felt like, okay, feels like a museum. But then when you get more into like the hands-on elements, and also seeing like the photos of guys like working with this old equipment and the amount of work that must have gone into making a movie, like you don't even know for sure if you exposed it correctly. This is nowhere near where the average person's ever going to end up in Paris. We're in the 12th by Bercy. But like if you are into cinema, into like making movies, storytelling, anything, I don't know, I just felt like going through there. There's an element, again, of the craftsmanship, the collaboration, the creative vision, just bringing things together that had never been done before. These guys are like trying completely new things. And there may not be an arena into which we can jump right now that is so new and so vibrant and so hands-on and so tactile. But I walked out wanting to make something. And I think that is ultimately the root of inspiration. And anytime you can go to a museum, to an exposition, to whatever it is, and walk out feeling like you gotta go put your hands to work and make something, I feel like that in and of itself is worth it. Even if it is on the other side of Paris, a little bit cheesy. The air conditioning was great. And I left. That was energizing. Anyways, thanks to today's patron producer, James Burgess. I always struggle with that name. Sorry, Burgess. And all my patrons for voting on this. You guys chose well. This was a really good one. Remember, if you want to vote on random restaurant polls and museum polls, and maybe some others, if we can get them sandwiched in here again, patreon.com/JSwanson. It's an amazing way to support my channel. Thanks so much for my patrons. Thanks to you for watching. And have a good weekend.